we recently talked about Banana Gate, as it's called on this channel from here on out. Lizzo has received a lot of allegations of weird banana stuff, discrimination, and attempted assault from 3 of her former backup dancers who were on her show on Amazon Prime, Watch Out for the Big Girls. And she has come out to respond to these allegations and wholly denies that anything ever happened in the lawsuit. She said, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. And I won't stand for it." No, my character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. I don't know. I feel like bringing your employees to a sex club and making them eat bananas out of strippers' vaginas is a little bit inappropriate and unprofessional.
Sounds unprofessional.
That's just
to
me.
Yep.
I guess I'm crazy. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone uncomfortable, like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I'm not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm open with my sexuality and expressing myself.
It's giving Kevin Spacey.
I'm a flirt.
It's like...
You could say that. I'm a big flirt.
So I have to ask you a question, Mrs. Lizzo. I have to ask you a question. Did you or did you not, in fact, make women who work for you eat bananas out of the vaginas of sex workers? I'm open about my sexuality. I don't know what kind of question.
Did you not hold a 12-hour-long audition in which one of your backup dancers soiled herself because she couldn't take a bathroom break? These questions need answers. She said, "I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I'm not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world." Ugh.
I love the gendered, like, it's got nothing to do with it. This is a unique problem because here's the thing, Phil. Do you think this would, if this was guys on tour and they were asked to go to a strip club with guys they work with, what would the expectation be that if they didn't want to go, they just say no?
Yeah.
And nobody would care.
And I tell you what, 90% of the guys are going to say no.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes,
right? But the idea
true.
here is that the women felt pressured to go because they need the acceptance of the,
Well, they said
tribe.
we felt like it was mandatory to go to these group outings with Lizzo or else our jobs were in jeopardy. And I said, ultimately it's your choice. If you feel like your integrity is on the line, you should probably just walk away from the job. But also I understand that there are power dynamics. But when it's someone who looks like Lizzo, she's supposed to be this feminist empowerment figure in media, and she's like done so much for fat positivity and for feminism that we can't criticize her for anything.
What is she done? Because I get like people put a lot of, like, she gets a lot of attention, and she's an artist that's, written popular music and stuff, but other than that, what exactly has Lizzo done besides be
comments?
fat?
The comment section on this is all women saying, "Wow, innocent until proven guilty has gone out the window, huh?" Women who probably ordinarily would throw men under the bus for similar or less severe allegations. But one of them said, "Lizzo has changed everything for plus-size women and women in general, regardless of the situation."
Lizzo hasn't done that, though.
And I was like, excuse me, what has Lizzo done for me as a woman? What about my life has changed since Lizzo got famous? I don't understand how, what is she an activist? What rights do I have because Lizzo is on the scene?
It's the idea that you now feel seen, so you feel like it's possible for you yourself to also become a famous singer who is fat?
I do not feel seen when I see Lizzo on stage.
There have been fat opera
Let's
singers
make that
forever.
clear.
Have there not? Have there not been plus-sized opera singers forever?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. For ages.
I think she actually does sing opera.
Oh, there you go.
Or I'm just making that up.
If I understand correctly, Lizzo is actually an accomplished musician.
She's
talented, and she's
talented. She just seems to be a bad person because she's a narcissist after everyone in the media has been universally praising her for years just because she's fat and a minority.
Yeah.
When you tell someone that they're perfect and blameless and beautiful at any size, they're going to turn into an insufferable person.
If you lie to kids for all their life, they turn into miserable teenagers.
I'll continue with her statement. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. This whole comment section is basically claiming that she's getting canceled because she's black, despite the fact that the backup dancers, 2 out of 3 of them accusing her of these things, are black. The other one is still a person of color. Where is the racism? I'm searching for it and I don't see it.
Well, that's the thing.
It's just a victimhood narrative while she's still reiterating, oh, I don't want to be seen as a victim.
It's because they've been conditioned. Like a lot of people in society have been conditioned that if you have some kind of problem at work or whatever, and you can use race as a wedge or whatever, do it.
They're also make her a victim blamer.
They're also ignoring the fact that one of the women who said that she used to be a former creative director for her called her a toxic narcissist and that she's extremely disrespectful and mean to everyone who works for her. That woman is black. Yeah. So I'm just not seeing the victimhood narrative for her here. Let me read some of these comments. One said, give her the same grace and benefit of the doubt y'all give to black men when they are accused of things. Just imagine
if didn't get that benefit.
If Bill Cosby put out this statement,
black men,
no one would be giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you.
And yes, Exhibit A, Jonathan Majors.
Nobody gave Jonathan Majors the benefit of the doubt. It's party time. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Another person said, imagine Lizzo creating a flute rendition of the Toxic Gossip Train.
Yes!
We need this.
She could collab with Colleen Ballinger. Mm-hmm. Lizzo featuring Miranda Sings.
Another person said, if it was Taylor Swift being accused, y'all would go to war for her, so maybe calm down.
I mean, the Swifties would definitely go to war for her, but the average person would not.
Yeah, no.
This is $20. Yep.
This one's from Benrick5. He said, Phil, can we talk about important things? PSV 31, enough said.
He's talking
but for
about,
real, Lizzo seems awful.
She does. He's talking about PVS 31s. They are great. Best $13,000 I've ever spent.
Another one said, y'all love to crucify a person before the facts come about. Lizzo deserves the same respect as the accusers. One fact we do know, they stated publicly already, that Lizzo never explicitly said or instructed what they're accusing, but there was a feeling in the air or otherwise an assumption. Let that sink in and let this play out. Okay, but if you read the actual document for the lawsuit, you would see there are allegations she actually did things that were inappropriate.
Yeah.
Banana and bar. I don't think that that's an appropriate way to interact with your employees who are dependent on you for their income. I mean,
like, also
she didn't even tell them where they were going.
I do think that there's an inherent difference here between how men would handle this situation and how women would handle this situation.
Of course.
Like I mentioned it to Tim last night. I was like, dude, if you ask me to go skating at 7 a.m. on a Saturday and I don't want to, I just say no. Like if people are going out to dinner and it's like an employee thing with people that work here, I just say no. If I don't feel like going, you don't go. But there is a need to feel accepted by the group that, and I think there's a neuroticism to how they feel about it. And a lot of that is perpetrated by how Lizzo seems to be treating them. But this is a product of a heavily female-influenced workplace. What?
Olivia Claire's hilarious. Anyways.
Okay. So yeah, like a
lot of the lawsuit was girl drama.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I felt like there was this implication that I was feeling judged, and you can't bring that to a court of law.
That's not quantifiable.
But there were other things like pay disputes that do belong in a lawsuit like that.
Yes.
And also, I think it is clearly crossing some normal bounds between a boss and their employees to bring them to a strip club without telling them where they're going first, and then starting a chant at one of them to touch a nude performer's breasts.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cut and dry in my mind. Another person said, okay, people, the fat phobia is not productive. It's just embarrassing for you to mention her weight, regardless of the allegations. Don't seize this opportunity to pile on with the body shaming. I absolutely will seize on this opportunity to body shame Lizzo. Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
I just
Endorsed.
And do you think this is one
We
of those
make fun
things
of how men look all the time. I make fun of how Harvey Weinstein looks.
because he's disgusting.
People make fun of his weird penis.
Yeah, people that went into like everybody knows that Harvey Weinstein's got a weird penis and he begs women to touch it.
He's got a weird Weinstein.
I just in these types of things, I imagine on tour, is this something? Do you think that would be in the future? She would do better to like separate herself from the people she works with, because I imagine that building camaraderie. Because I likened a lot of this to hazing. Similar to how frats do it, right? It's meant as a team building exercise, because as you're humiliated, your perceived value within that group is raised as per the way hazing works. And I think that might be something that frats like, but I don't know if that's necessarily something that is going to work in a professional environment where there's all of these laws put in place.
So we don't do significant hazing, just because people can't take that kind of stuff.
Not anymore.
20 years ago, 15 years ago, you could get some hazing. Nowadays, there's too much. It's too easy to hire someone that doesn't have a sense of humor, and it's just not worth it. So it is what it is. It's not as fun when you have to be worried about upsetting people, but at the same time, like that's just the world we live in nowadays. And I'm not like I don't have an HR department. I'm not starting an HR department. So.
Taylor Swift is not taking the ladies and people she works with out to strip clubs.
No.
But she's also sexless, so that makes sense. Another person
only
called
because she wants to be sexless.
the queer strength coach said, cue the crowd who've been waiting for any chance to cancel this particular black celebrity.
Oh boy.
Wah, wah, wah. Another one said, I saw a post on Reddit that said, has anybody noticed nobody is coming to Lizzo's defense? No celebrities, no personal friends, nobody. It's very noticeable because usually the first thing they do is have people say good things about the celebrity under fire. And it's true. I haven't seen anyone on Lizzo's side. Yeah. But it's too much of a risk for anyone's career to come to the defense of someone who's facing allegations that are, that sound this severe.
Yeah. And they might
it could get you canceled yourself.
They might come out later when
and why would you come to someone's defense if you don't know the facts?
Yeah.
It's not like we made videos about Jonathan Majors saying he's innocent and fighting for his career.
No,
we
most
didn't
of
care.
the time with stories like that, it ends up having to be like, look, this is the argument they're presenting. This is the points to the contrary.
And we talk about what are the
know.
consequences going to be for his career. But we didn't come out in support of anyone who was accused.
Yeah. Also, there was the person who, there was the TMZ article that says the accuser praised the singer after the alleged incidents. So very clearly, like maybe they're...
Right. They found this audition video that one of the women in the lawsuit made for season 2 of her Amazon show, where she was trying to get a spot on there as a singer. And she said that like Lizzo is the queen and she praised Lizzo in the video. But I think this is just career opportunism. Obviously, you shouldn't assume that anyone who's trying to get on your show actually likes you as a person.
Yep.
Because, you're offering them a financial incentive. Yeah. So, then Lizzo's lawyer said about this video, these don't sound like the words of someone who was harassed or discriminated against by someone they described as the queen. Yeah, that's just a stupid rebuttal.
but that's also because people in Hollywood, and especially on the internet, always have to say the most hyperbolic, oh my gosh, like, they're the greatest person that ever existed.
Someone criticizing Harvey Weinstein's conduct could just as easily call him the king of Hollywood, because in a sense, he was at that type of position of power. It's not praising the person. So yeah, that's dumb. But yeah, I just find it ironic that a lot of these women in the comments section defending Lizzo and saying that she's being targeted for her race or for her weight or whatever would immediately throw men under the bus for similar allegations or allegations that are less serious.
Well, not to mention if this came out about some other pop singer, people's reactions would likely be the same if the circumstances were the same. right?
Probably.
Depending on how famous they were. Like, I was trying to imagine, like, if you wanted a group of fans that would defend their celebrity to death, it would be either Swifties, or if this came out about Beyonce. If this came out about Beyonce, maybe people might have some backlash, but she's got so much power within the industry, right, that she could quash a lot of this before it makes it to the public. But it would end up going away, and her fans would close ranks around her because they feel very strongly about her as their Lord and Savior, Beyonce, and that's the way they see it, and you're not going to be able to change their mind about it. The people making those comments aren't thinking rationally. They're not looking at it one way or the other in a way that's actually looking for the facts. They just want to entrench and defend the person that they're talking about. Whereas here, like, it's okay to make fun of Lizzo. I think you made the best point yesterday when you said, look, the fat shaming part is a ridiculous headline because that's not what actually happened. You pointed out that there's a discrepancy there. Like, the other stuff
actual serious allegation, probably the most serious one, is that she was bounding up to one of her employees with her fists balled up and cracking her knuckles, basically preparing to attack her physically before she was restrained.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you could call that an attempted assault.
Yeah. Also, somebody points out in the chat, like, look, she mentions her weight all the time. It's relevant to her career, so it can be relevant. Like, you can't just have it going one way. You don't get to just talk about weight when it benefits you in a toxically positive manner. You also have to talk about it when it comes up in a negative context. You don't get to have it both ways. That's not the way the world works. They would like that, but that's not the way the world works.
I don't feel bad when Taylor Swift gets body shamed.
Does that happen a lot? What does she get body shamed for? Being too hot?
Being too tall.
In her documentary, she like complained about how everyone was keeping such a close eye on her weight because she used to be thinner, and she had an eating disorder. Blah blah blah. I don't care. You're a multimillionaire. Another comment said, I went to a Lizzo concert and I saw a magical person who uplifts everyone around her.
That's
Lizzo
delusion.
is nothing short of giving. Y'all love a negative narrative. She doesn't deserve a targeted smear campaign.
You don't know this person. These are your fans. Like, you don't know that she's a good person or a bad person.
How many people have watched a celebrity make a great movie make great movies for decades only to find out that they're a horrible person, right? Yeah. Hey, guess what? I can still go back and watch Seven or The Usual Suspect. I can watch those movies and still love Kevin Spacey's work, but I don't look at him and think, look at this amazing bastion of art in Americana. No, he's just an actor. And if you attach that much of your self-worth and how you view the world to a celebrity, you have a priority problem, unfortunately. You do.
They definitely have some parasocial connections.
It feels like that happens more with music now than with actors and stuff, right?
I think that because
music speaks so much to you.
I think musicians are less. I feel like musicians articulate their positions less than actors. I feel like there's more demand on actors to have the correct position than musicians, and I think that goes to the fact that, or I think that's because of the fact that actors are always thought of as people first because you see their face all the time, and that's what they're known for. Musicians. The only musicians that get that kind of attention are musicians that cross into where their personality or their face is in public.
Where you end up in a Star Wars show on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that
like
kind
Lizzo.
of stuff. But if you just wrote, have written some good songs that people dig or whatever, you probably fly under the radar just so long as you're not putting your face out there all the time. It's the people that can be identified as what's that guy's or that girl's opinion and stuff. If you're just the guy from the people from the Gorillas, nobody's asking what their politics are because the Gorillas are animation. The writers, the guys that write the music, nobody cares, so.
Blue Man Group. I wonder what the Blue Man Group's politics are. Well, what if they were what if they were Republicans? What if they voted red all the time? If they were the Blue Man Group. That'd
probably
be cool.
wouldn't be
ironic.
They're just hardline. They were like hardline McCain fans back in the day. Like,
right.
They're just super pro-war. Like. That's
what if they become the Pink Man Group because they're communists?
There you go. But yeah, with Lizzo, I think I really do think that we have like an epidemic with a lot of people who, whether it's Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Lizzo, people get really, really attached to these people in a way that's not healthy. not to be rude, but it's not healthy to attach that much of your self-worth and identity to somebody who you've never met, who's
But Lizzo
selling you a
invited that.
product.
Lizzo wants that kind of hero worship because she benefits from being seen as this feminist icon and a magical being, like a god.
Yeah, and that, I think a lot of that's the culture we live in now, with your phone in your pocket all the time. Back in the day, celebrities were something you saw on billboards and on your television at night, right? Now, celebrity is something you see constantly projected back to you on your phone, so it becomes more enthralling.
I miss
to
when the
people.
media treated celebrities like shit.
Yeah,
Like
those are the
dirty
good old days.
tabloid rags.
Well, those tabloids still exist too.
They do, but
the
I feel like
Inquirer.
so much of the media is just in celebrities' pockets now.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, like, there's this great thing that says, like, if you ever want to show how ridiculous the world is, what they do is they take old, like, Washington Post headlines or CNN headlines, and they just put them on the cover of an Inquirer, and it immediately shows you how ridiculous what they're saying actually is. But the format of seeing it on, like, a traditional website kind of hijacks the fact that what you're reading is insane. Like, Donald Trump is a spy for Russia. Well, when you see that on a CNN headline, that's like, well, I guess he must be a spy for Russia. But if you put it on the cover of, like, a National Enquirer, and it's got Donald Trump, like, he looks like Dolph Lundgren and he's shaking Vladimir Putin's hand, that looks ridiculous because it is ridiculous. But I think you're right. I think that celebrities have way too much pull in the culture right now because everyone seems to be very desperate to either engage with fame or be famous. And that's not really the healthiest thing in the world for you.
I know that the Call Her Daddy girl is trying to book Lizzo on her podcast right now. Because her entire job is to ask approved
You
questions.
should get, like, extra big chairs for her. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would need different size
Double
chairs
wides.
for her. Yeah. Did you see the thing the other day about the lady who was like, oh god, it's very mean, but it's like it's a 3-seat flight, and there's a lady in there who's like, it was the lady who complained about, like, they don't make flights for plus size for bigger people, and it's like you have the middle seat in this flight, and it's just like you can't fit. And I just, like, I feel really bad for the lady, but at the same time, they're making this about, like, she's trying to sue them, like, sue these airlines for not having
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them
flights
at all.
that fit them. But people,
Lizzo doesn't even need a chair. Her body is a beanbag.
All right. Okay, then I got a question for both of you. Do you think this just goes away? I honestly, I feel this just goes away.
Lizzo stuff?
Yeah, I feel like in 6
Yeah.
months nobody will remember.
No.
Well,
no,
are they
it
not
does
going
feel-
to, like, present this before a jury? Like,
She'll settle out of court. She'll settle out of court, give them some hush money, let them come back as singers in their next tour, and nothing will happen.
I don't
Nothing
think
will
she's
change.
going to live down the banana memes, though.
Pray to God.
It's like how Amber Heard still gets comments about how she crapped in the bed.
It is kind of shocking.
She will forever be the crapped in the bed woman.
And to me, Lizzo is always going to be the banana woman.
It is kind of shocking that out of all the food that Lizzo would become famous for, it ends up becoming for a banana.
She's done so many photo shoots with banana props. It's weird. She has, like, a weird obsession with bananas.
She's got a thing for them. It's her thing. I think. What do you think? It just goes away, Phil?
Yeah.
Just not even 6 months.
No,
a couple
not-
months from now, people will forget. Like, she, you know what she'll do? She'll be like, she'll accidentally say the word spaz in a song again, and that will be the new controversy.
Oh, yeah.
And she will shift the focus.
This is going. It's such a non-issue. This will not hurt her one bit. She's not going to have one. Like, maybe the parents of the people that are accusing her will unfollow Lizzo. That's about it, though. Like, there is not going to be a big thing.
Because she's Lizzo.
The only not big thing she's involved in. It's gonna. I think also she's too important to the movement. Like, to that. Like, somebody in the chat says she's too important to the movement. She is. She's too important to that body positivity movement. They're like, damn it, we lost Adele. Damn it, we lost what's her name?
Rebel Wilson.
We're running out of fat queens.
We lost Mindy
Fat
Kaling
queen.
when she got on the Ozempic.
And then Ozempic came around. And we lost all the fat
is what
queens.
will kill the fat positivity movement.
Unreal.
It's like, what if Lizzo became a spokesperson for Ozempic? That would be amazing.
Shameful.
That would be amazing. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.